Our next nominee is an uplifting true story that's also a campaign for access to education for those in extreme poverty. A child of 5 in a home shaped by her parents' addiction, the author is homeless and pregnant at 15, but today is a Maynooth lecturer in psychology and a celebrated writer. The book-selling Ireland biography of the year is Poor by Katriona O'Sullivan.
Surviving poverty has given me a bravery that a lot of other people I know don't actually have. I've lived on the streets, I had a baby at 16, I had drug addict parents, so I know that I can get through stuff, and that makes me just a little bit braver, I think, in life. When I'm making choices, I have this knowledge always that I'm going to be okay, and that's a privilege. I dedicate the book to 7-year-old me because that little girl needed someone to love her, needed someone to guide her and show her the way. The way school is set up, it doesn't suit all kids, and it didn't suit me. I hated the interactions, the questions, the conversations, the day-to-day administration of being a pupil in a modern-day school. It's hard to describe that conflict. The tug between wanting the education but not wanting to have to deal with everything that goes along with it. I didn't really fit in well with the other children. I was smelly, I was unkempt, my hair, I had nits. There was one teacher particularly that changed my life. So Mr. Pickering was that teacher. There was this particular day, it was parent-teacher meeting, and my parents had never gone, and the door knocked. I answered my front door, and there he was standing there. I thought I was in trouble. He said, "Is your dad there?" And I went in and called my dad, and my dad came to the front door, and I stood behind listening, wondering what it was that I'd done. Mr. Pickering said to my dad, "Mr. O'Sullivan, I was hoping to see you tonight at parent-teacher meeting." And my dad mumbled an apology, and I heard Mr. Pickering say, "I really wanted an opportunity to tell you how amazing your daughter is. She is so bright and clever and intelligent, and I think you should be doing more to support her." My dad was, he knew he was letting me down, but me standing behind that door, I grew an inch or two standing there listening to this man going to bat for me, defending me against my dad, trying to inspire me or trying to get help for me. It was wonderful. Girls like me are 10 a penny in my community. There's loads of bolshy girls like me who can buy and sell you, who could do well in university and education and jobs like mine, and they're just not given the chance. So I bring my knowledge, bring my experience and my anger into my job. One of the many reasons I wrote my book was to try and make things a little bit fairer, to make sure there's loads of Katrionas standing up in Trinity College, graduating with a PhD, changing the world the way I am. I've had to search for places and experiences that actually help me, and one of them places is the sea. The sea is so big and so powerful, and it forces you to succumb into this moment. The beach is stony, and so the walk down to the water is hard and awkward. But I go barefoot, and I take my time to find the gaps between the pebbles for my feet. I ignore the temptation to step back from it, and I wade until the water is over my head. There's always that moment when the cold shocks me, and my lungs expand and I want to get out. But I brace myself and move forward, and it passes. The sea traces a cold line around my entire body, and I know exactly where I start and where I finish. For that moment, I'm just Katriona, just me, and I need nothing but that. That is when I start to swim.
And Katriona O'Sullivan is with us now. Congratulations on the book, Katriona. And your life story is it's unreal, isn't it? But I gather the how you wrote the book and where you wrote the book is an interesting yarn. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I work full time. So I used to start every Saturday morning in a Voca in Dunboyne, in a corner, coffee, laptop, and I spent my days every Saturday either crying or laughing. And the women who worked there, they all came to know and actually be part of the story. Sometimes they'd bring tissues, sometimes they'd ask me why I was laughing in a freakish way, but that's actually that was my method.
Amazing stuff. Now, having gone through the story, and I'm sure it was grueling to write it, with the success of it though, you've probably had to retell the story of your life over and over again. Is that worse, or do you not care anymore so much?
I always care. I mean, I think
I never lose the connection from that little girl who went through a really hard time. But there is a distance from the pain. I think that's why I was able to write it, is that I have healed a lot. So it's not as visceral as what it would have been if I still felt traumatized. But sometimes it can be hard.
Do you ever have a chat with the little girl that you once were?
Regularly, yeah, because I experience fear. I talk about that in my book, like poverty, you know, it transcends your whole life when you've had extreme poverty, and some of that means that I have to take extra care of myself. I dedicated my book to 7-year-old me because, you know, she still is in there somewhere looking for kindness and care.
That's gorgeous. What would you say to her now?
I'd say I have you, like it's safe and you're going to be okay, and you won't believe what's going to happen to you. You'll be on RTE with Oliver Callan.
And one of the low moments.
Winning book awards, you know, so I could have never dreamed this life for myself. Like, my dreams were limited by my experiences, so this is way beyond what I ever expected from my life.
It's a wonderful book, and congratulations on the book, and the best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Katriona O'Sullivan, ladies and gentlemen.